Most people believe strength means speaking louder, fighting harder, or proving everyone wrong. But the strongest people rarely do any of those things. They remain calm when others panic. They stay steady when life becomes uncertain. They refuse to let insults, setbacks, or opinions steal their peace. The difference isn't that they've been given an easier life. It's that they've learned to master the only thing they truly own, their mind. Every day, people surrender their peace without realizing it. One careless comment ruins their mood. One disappointment destroys their confidence. One unexpected problem makes them question everything. When your emotions are controlled by outside events, your life belongs to those events instead of you. The Stoics understood this long before the modern world filled our lives with distractions. Thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus taught that real freedom begins when your inner world becomes stronger than your outer circumstances. Today, we'll explore 10 timeless Stoic lessons that build an unshakable mind. These aren't motivational slogans. They're practical habits that can transform the way you think, respond, and live. Let's begin with the first lesson. Lesson 1. Master the pause. Every challenge gives you a hidden opportunity. It appears in the brief moment between what happens and how you choose to respond. Someone criticizes you. A plan falls apart. You receive disappointing news. Before words leave your mouth or emotions take control, there's a small space where your freedom lives. Most people never notice it. They react automatically, allowing anger, fear, or frustration to make every decision for them. But the Stoics believe this pause is where true strength is born. Epictetus reminded us that events themselves do not control us. Our responses do. That means your greatest power is not avoiding problems, but choosing your reaction. Imagine a great oak tree standing through a violent storm. The wind shakes every branch, yet its roots remain firm beneath the ground. A weak branch breaks because it resists. The tree survives because it is deeply rooted. Your mind should become those roots. The next time something upsets you, don't rush to answer. Breathe. Count slowly. Observe the emotion without obeying it. Then ask yourself, will my next action move me closer to wisdom or further from it? Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that his mind belonged to him alone. The world could create circumstances, but only he could decide what those circumstances meant. The moment you stop reacting instantly, you stop being controlled by everyone around you. Lesson 2. Separate reality from your story. Many people think they're suffering because of what happened. In truth, they suffer because of the meaning they immediately attach to it. Someone forgets to reply to your message, and your mind whispers, "They don't respect me." A mistake at work suddenly becomes, "I'm a failure." One criticism becomes proof that you're not good enough. But are those facts, or are they stories your mind created? Epictetus taught that people are disturbed not by events themselves, but by the judgments they make about those events. Reality is often much simpler than the story we invent. Think of a clear mirror. It reflects everything placed before it without becoming any of it. A beautiful sunrise appears, then disappears. A violent storm passes, and the mirror remains unchanged. Your awareness should work the same way. Instead of saying, "This is terrible," learn to say, "This happened." Instead of saying, "They rejected me," say, "They made a different choice." Removing emotional labels allows you to see life clearly instead of through the lens of fear and ego. When you stop taking every event personally, people lose the ability to control your emotions. You become calmer, wiser, and far more difficult to shake. Lesson 3. Guard your inner energy. Many people believe exhaustion comes from working too hard. More often, it comes from giving attention to things that never deserved it. Constant arguments, negative conversations, mindless scrolling, comparing your life to everyone else's. Every unnecessary distraction quietly drains your focus until you have little strength left for what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote that our minds gradually become colored by whatever we repeatedly think about. If your attention is filled with complaints, anger, and noise, your character slowly takes the same shape. Picture a peaceful garden. If weeds are allowed to grow every day, they eventually choke every healthy plant. Your thoughts work the same way. Neglect them long enough, and distraction becomes your normal state. Protect your attention as carefully as you would protect your health. Before entering an argument, ask, is this worth my peace? Before opening another social media app, ask, will this improve my mind? Before carrying someone else's negativity, ask, do I need this burden? Every time you choose wisely, your mind grows stronger. The Stoics understood that attention is life's greatest currency. Spend it carelessly, and you'll always feel exhausted. Invest it wisely, and your mind becomes steady, disciplined, and free. These first 3 lessons share one powerful message. Your strength is never determined by what happens around you. It is determined by how well you govern yourself. Once you master your reactions, your perspective, and your attention, you begin building a mind that no circumstance can easily disturb. Lesson 4. Release expectations before they steal your peace. Much of our suffering begins long before anything bad actually happens. It begins the moment we decide life must unfold exactly as we imagined. We expect people to appreciate our efforts. We expect fairness, loyalty, quick success, and perfect outcomes. When reality refuses to follow our script, frustration takes its place. The Stoics understood that peace doesn't come from controlling life. It comes from accepting that life follows its own course. Marcus Aurelius prepared himself each morning by remembering that he would meet selfish people, unexpected setbacks, and uncomfortable situations. This wasn't pessimism, it was preparation. When difficulties arrived, they surprised him less because he had already accepted they were part of life. Think of a river flowing toward the sea. It never argues with the rocks in its path. It doesn't waste energy wishing the current were different. It simply moves around every obstacle until it reaches its destination. Become like that river. Do your best without demanding a specific reward. Offer kindness without expecting gratitude. Work diligently without making your happiness depend on immediate results. The less you demand from life, the more peacefully you move through it. Lesson 5. Turn every difficulty into your teacher. Pain is something everyone experiences, but not everyone benefits from it. Most people run from discomfort. They distract themselves, complain about it, or allow it to define who they are. The Stoics chose another path. They treated hardship as training. Every disappointment carries a lesson. Every failure reveals a weakness worth improving. Every challenge presents an opportunity to become stronger than yesterday. Imagine a blacksmith placing steel into blazing fire. The heat seems destructive, yet without it, the metal can never become a sword. The fire isn't the enemy, it is the process. Your struggles work the same way. Marcus Aurelius believed that every obstacle contains the material needed for growth. What blocks your path today may become the very reason you're stronger tomorrow. When criticism comes, improve instead of complaining. When rejection appears, build greater confidence. When life becomes difficult, ask yourself, what quality is this moment asking me to develop? Resilience is not built during comfort. It is forged during adversity. The people who become mentally unshakable are not those who avoided suffering. They are those who learned how to transform suffering into wisdom. Lesson 6. Return your mind to the present. The greatest battles many people fight never actually happen. They replay yesterday's mistakes over and over. They imagine tomorrow's disasters before they arrive. Their body experiences stress, even though the danger exists only inside their imagination. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves that life can only be lived in one place, the present moment. Marcus Aurelius often brought his attention back to a simple question: what is my duty right now? Not next week, not next year, right now. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones from yesterday and tomorrow. Every step feels exhausting, even though most of those stones don't belong to today. That is what overthinking does. When anxious thoughts begin to multiply, gently return your attention to what is directly in front of you. Take one breath, complete one task, solve one problem. Reality is almost always lighter than the stories our minds create. The present moment is where clarity lives. It is also the only place where meaningful action is possible. Lesson 7. Stop seeking permission to be enough. Many people unknowingly hand their happiness to strangers. A compliment lifts them up. A criticism tears them down. Their confidence rises and falls depending on how others respond. But a life controlled by approval can never be a free life. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that his character mattered far more than public opinion. Whether people praised or criticized him, his responsibility remained the same: to live according to virtue. Think of the sun. It rises every morning without asking whether anyone appreciates its light. It simply fulfills its purpose. Live the same way. If your actions are guided by honesty, discipline, kindness, and courage, then you already possess the approval that matters most: your own. Epictetus taught that anyone who depends on applause also becomes vulnerable to rejection. So stop measuring your worth by popularity. Stop changing yourself just to satisfy every opinion. Focus instead on becoming someone you genuinely respect. When your standards come from within instead of from the crowd, criticism loses its power, praise loses its control, and your confidence becomes steady. These 4 lessons reveal a simple truth: peace is not something the world gives you. It is something you create through disciplined thinking. By releasing expectations, embracing hardship, staying present, and refusing to chase approval, you begin to build a character that remains calm no matter what life places in your path. Lesson 8. Become comfortable with silence. Many people fear being alone, not because solitude is painful, but because silence forces them to meet themselves. The moment the room becomes quiet, they reach for a phone, a video, or another distraction. Anything to avoid sitting with their own thoughts. But the Stoics viewed solitude differently. They believed that a person who cannot be alone with their mind will never truly understand it. Imagine a calm lake at sunrise. When the water is still, every detail is reflected with perfect clarity. But when the surface is constantly disturbed, nothing can be seen clearly. Your mind works the same way. Constant noise clouds judgment. Endless distractions bury wisdom beneath layers of mental clutter. Marcus Aurelius often spent time writing his thoughts, not for recognition, but to examine his own character. He understood that self-reflection is one of the greatest forms of strength. Give yourself a few quiet moments every day. Sit without entertainment. Observe your thoughts without chasing them. Let your emotions rise and fall naturally. Over time, silence stops feeling uncomfortable. Instead, it becomes the place where clarity, discipline, and inner peace begin to grow. Lesson 9. See problems from a higher view. When emotions take over, even a small inconvenience can feel enormous. A mistake seems unforgettable. An argument feels permanent. A setback appears impossible to overcome. Yet if you step back, most of these moments become surprisingly small. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to rise above immediate emotions and view life from a wider perspective. From that higher viewpoint, today's frustrations lose much of their power. Imagine climbing to the top of a mountain after spending hours walking through a crowded city. From above, the traffic, noise, and confusion shrink into tiny details. Life's problems often work the same way. Whenever something disturbs your peace, ask yourself a simple question: will this truly matter a year from now? Most of the time, the answer is no. This doesn't mean your struggles are meaningless. It means they deserve perspective instead of panic. Save your emotional energy for what genuinely shapes your life. Let small inconveniences pass without stealing your peace. A disciplined mind knows the difference between a temporary problem and a lasting purpose. Lesson 10. Become the watcher of your mind. The greatest shift in Stoicism is realizing that you're not every thought that enters your mind. Thoughts appear, emotions rise, fear visits, anger arrives. But none of these define who you are. You're the one observing them. Most people merge completely with every emotion they experience. They believe every thought must be true and every feeling must be followed. The Stoics chose another path. They learn to observe before acting. Imagine sitting beside a flowing river. Leaves drift across the surface, each carried away by the current. You notice them, but you don't jump into the water to follow every leaf downstream. Treat your thoughts the same way. Notice them, learn from them, but don't allow every passing emotion to decide your actions. Instead of saying, "I am anxious," simply recognize, "Anxiety is visiting me." Instead of saying, "I am angry," notice, "Anger has appeared." That small change creates distance. And in that distance, wisdom begins. Awareness gives you the freedom to choose your response instead of becoming a prisoner of your emotions. This is not emotional suppression. It is emotional mastery. The Stoics never promised a life without hardship. They promised something far more valuable, a mind that remains steady regardless of hardship. These lessons are not meant to be admired. They are meant to be practiced. Pause before reacting. Separate facts from your assumptions. Protect your attention. Release unrealistic expectations. Turn pain into growth. Stay rooted in the present. Stop chasing approval. Welcome silence. Keep life's problems in perspective. And above all, become the calm observer of your own mind. Mastering these habits won't change the world around you overnight, but they will transform the way you meet that world every single day. True strength is not found in controlling people or circumstances. It is found in controlling yourself. The person who governs their own mind cannot easily be manipulated, discouraged, or defeated. That is the quiet power the Stoics dedicated their lives to cultivating. So begin today. Practice one lesson, then another. Day by day, your mind becomes calmer. Your judgment becomes clearer. Your character grows stronger. And eventually, you'll discover that the greatest victory was never over the world. It was over yourself.